This video carries with it the potential risk of just going on ad infinitum, right? Because I want to give my thoughts on the game post-mortem after having done at least one playthrough. So I don't want to make it tremendously long. There's so much to talk about, and yet there's not. Let me summarize the game in one word, in one descriptive adjective, specifically a present participle, underwhelming. Or in this case, the past participle, I was underwhelmed. That's what the game is. It's underwhelming. Did I like the game? Yes. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed it for what it is. I did my best not to draw comparisons. Dragon Age Origins is, to my mind, superior. I've been playing BioWare games since the 90s, since some of you were wearing diapers or nappies, depending on your version of English. Or maybe you are older than that. Who knows? The point is, I've been playing for quite some time. I think BioWare has lost its touch. Another thing I'd use, or words I'd describe, overshot. BioWare overshot their ambitions here. They could have used another year of development. I understand pressures of deadlines, but just a few things off the top of my head. Too many mindless, pointless fetching quests to acquire mindless, pointless influence and power. Influence and power that at the end of the day has no outcome bearing on how the game actually should go or could go. And whether you finish the game with 140 power or 240 is irrelevant. Whether you have 20 influence or 10 is also largely irrelevant. It just doesn't have any bearing. A lot of fetching quests have nothing to do with the main story. Remember, in Dragon Age Origins, there were fetching quests, but within the context of the main story for the most part. You were in Orzammar, okay, give the book to the Shaperate. How does it relate to, you're there because you got to recruit the dwarves. You're in the forest, same thing, with the Ironbark and so on and so forth. That was lacking in the game. All the XP grinding, essentially. I like XP grinding when it's worthwhile, but the combat as well. In Nightmare is reasonably tough at the beginning because you have shitty gear and your levels aren't there, mostly because you have shitty gear. Then it turns into a joke once you have good gear and decent levels. And friendly fire, I usually love playing with friendly fire, but the way the system was implemented this time around, it was so poor that I just didn't bother. No point. Just thought, I'm not going to do this. So underwhelmed. The actual story, main quest, pathetically short, I thought. And they just overshot. They tried to turn it into a kind of pseudo Skyrim. Skyrim is a sandbox RPG. That's what it is. That's what Bethesda does. That's what they're all about. This, on the other hand, is supposed to be a story-based one. So I would have been content with fewer areas, less mappy content, and more story relevant stuff. That's why I play BioWare games, after all. But no, they made a mistake that way, and I think there was kind of a case of hyper-correction, overcorrection of Dragon Age 2, right, where everything was the same and reused levels and reused designs and what have you, and then they thought, oh, we need this and we need that, and it seems like a hyper correction of the mistakes that Dragon Age 2 made in a lot of ways. You don't see, I'll talk about this separately in companion discussion, you don't see a lot of character development that might be understandable and indeed justifiable if you assume that the whole plot line that the game takes place under is, a couple of months maybe half a year. Not a lot of time for development, right? So there you go. But even so, you had options in Dragon Age Origins to harden both Alistair and Liliana. You didn't really have that in this. The characters are pretty fixed, whereas in Mass Effect it spans a couple of years, so you can see changes in Liara, you can see changes in Garrus, you can see changes certainly in Tali, and so on and so forth. Lacking in this game, but then again, you could just all chalk it up to the time, right? Not enough time to develop the characters. Both BioWare's part and in the game. But yeah, the fetching the thing turned for me, it was just really underwhelming. You remember, everyone, I'm sure you remember how preparing for the suicide mission, and yes, I've watched Smudboy's critique, I agree with a lot of what he says, but the suicide mission could have been done better, I admit. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about the suicide mission in Mass Effect 2. You had to prepare the Normandy. You had to at least choose specialists for certain things or people die and so on. Final cataclysmic titanic battle against the evil darkspawn magister Coryphobut, as Sarah likes to refer to him sometimes. Does she call him that? We need to find Corypheus. He must be, all of a sudden he's outside our door. Let's head over there and attack him. And we kill him, and then he calls you a runted dirt worshipper, which is probably the best line in the game. Guys, if you haven't played a dwarf, that might be a reason to play. Runted dirt worshipper. Have you ever heard anything that cool? I've changed my Steam name and my Facebook name to Runted Dirt Worshipper. No, just kidding. At least about the Facebook thing, but the Steam I did, because it's really funny. But anyway, yeah, the thing is, it's just this final battle. What the fuck? Finish him? Go back? Okay, everything's cool. I mean, it wasn't the kind of what the fuck that you had with Mass Effect 3, where it was, what the fuck is this? It's completely unintelligible. What were they thinking? More, what the fuck? Okay. What Dragon Age Inquisition did do well was open up all these lore questions, and we're all just hankering for answers, aren't we? And the origins of the Darkspawn, and how the Fade was breached, and the mechanics and the engineering involved in doing so, and what kind of magics are involved, and what are dwarves actually in Tranquil, and how is it related to lyrium, and what is red lyrium, what is non-red lyrium, the Fade, the nature of the elves, the elven gods, the old gods. Man, all of these questions thrown out into the open. Good stuff. I hope we get some answers. For me, that's probably the primary reason to play the game. Otherwise, it's enjoyable. If we had no basis of comparison, I said, yeah, it'd be a pretty good game. But for me, just really underwhelming. And do I want to still do a Let's Play? I do. But it's not the kind of game where I'm just thinking, damn, I got to play this over and over and over again. I'm probably going to end up doing 3 playthroughs. I'm working on a second one right now. And then I might have a Let's Play, and I'll probably leave it at that. I don't think I could push myself through it again. Mostly because of the fetching quest. It's just story irrelevant. DLC, yeah, I'd probably get. Yeah, they're going to get my money again, probably. It's just because there's nothing. You see, the thing is, imagine you had a craving for pizza, right? But there's only one pizza place in the vicinity, or 1,000 kilometers away you live. Well, and it's not too bad, but it's not great. You've had better in the past, but it's the pizza that you can get, so you get it. And I think that's my description of how I feel about the BioWare turn of events. It's not great. I've had better. Dragon Age Origins, the Baldur's Gate series, but what else is there? It's the only pizza available at the moment. Big story-based RPGs. What else is there? Pillars of Eternity is right around the corner. Intrigued by that. We shall see, though. We shall see. My former love, as Irenicus says to Elasim. Underwhelmed, just really underwhelmed. Tried to do too many things and ultimately failed in doing so. But like I said, once again, I think it's a good analogy. If there's only one pizza place around you for thousands of kilometers, what other? And you want pizza, and the pizza's not bad. It's average. I guess you're gonna eat the pizza, just like I'm gonna play the game. But yeah. Unfortunate. That is my assessment of the game. Underwhelming. And I'm the first to admit that a lot of this might be attributable to my age. As you get older, many of you will observe your passions wither and die. You become more dispassionate and detached from the kinds of emotive expressions and outbursts that you might have performed and practiced in your youth. And I think that applies to games as well. I remember being much more emotionally involved, even if I hadn't been projecting myself into, say, the Baldur's Gate titles. It's almost 20 years ago now. But that time is done. So I kind of can able to take a step back and just look at it. I enjoyed Dragon Age Inquisition for what it was, but just underwhelmed, and there's no other pizza out there. What am I going to do? I still like pizza. That's my point. I still like pizza, and if there's no other pizza out there, I'm going to have this pizza. I'll eat this pizza. But I wish other pizza joints would open up. I really do wish other pizza joints would open up and make some competition, because that would be great. I want to see better pizza than what BioWare is baking in the oven, frankly. Those are my thoughts. Underwhelming and, as I explained, average pizza, but the only pizza there. What are you going to do? So I'll talk to you guys later. I want to look at the companions in depth at some point in time. Thanks for watching as always, and your comments and views and likes are appreciated. Bye-bye.